What's going on, guys? It is your girl Nate, and today I am joined by one of the OGs, Roach Killer.
OG? I'm not that old, you know.
But you're still an OG in the game.
I'm an OG in the game.
You are an OG in the game. So first of all, how are you?
I am blessed that I'm here sitting talking to you.
Thank
Because
you.
before this, you said, just look at me, right? So
I know.
I can't even look right.
Strict instructions, guys. So it's been a long time since you visited BritAsia.
Yes.
We are so happy to have you back.
I'm very happy to be here.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling very excited. I've got so much to say, so much to unleash.
So let's get right into it. First of all, I want to ask, where did the name Roach Killer come from? Everyone's been asking, so you've got to tell us
I have to tell
the thought process behind it.
So when I was about 12, I was looking to get my music heard or played or produced, and I found a producer. And at that time, Apache Indian was really big.
Yeah.
And I wanted to call myself Junior Indian because I felt like, you know, I'm the Junior Indian, he's Apache Indian, right?
Yeah.
But the producer's like, nah, bro, that's too close to Apache Indian. I'm going to call you Roach. But me being 12 years old, I didn't care what he called me, right? I was just like, yo, if you're going to do my music, call me whatever you want. Whatever you want.
Call me Ladushi.
Killer came from like all the school talent shows and stuff. So all the guys used to be like, yo, that's Killer, dog. You know, that thing's Killer, you know. So I was like, all right, Roach Killer. Two reasons. One is obviously that's my identity because that's what people call me. Second thing is for marketing, it's a name that once you hear it, you can't forget it. Whether you like it, whether you don't like it, it's not coming out your head.
There's no other Roach Killer.
Well, there you go. That's why they always say the one and only, right?
The one and only? Wow. So you said you were 12 years old.
Yes.
And I did want to talk to you about your journey, how you got into the music industry. So you were actually very young then, 12 years old.
Yes.
How did that come about?
I was actually born in Africa. For people that don't know, I was born in Libya, and about I think the age of 10, we migrated, went to Canada. But when I got to Canada, the area that we grew up was a lot of immigrants and stuff, and majority of the immigrants in the area were Jamaican. So imagine me coming from Africa. I can speak Punjabi obviously because of the house. I speak Arabic because of that, but I didn't really speak much English. So my English I learned from the Jamaicans.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So when I used to go to my friend's house, they'll be playing reggae music. And it's melody, right? And then obviously we have Punjabi music or Bollywood, that's melody. So I was kind of attracted to it. I was like, whoa, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then comes one day Apache Indian out of the blue. My brother brings me this tape. He's like, yo, listen to this. So he's talking about aloo, naan me gobi, chutney, side from a plate. And I'm like, whoa, this is me. Like I'm Asian man hanging out with the Jamaicans. This is all about my life. You know what I mean? So that's how I kind of got into the reggae music. And that's how I kind of started singing. So that's where the name Roach Killer and everything started bubbling. That's where I started doing my thing. You know?
Yes, because I feel like in a lot of your songs, we can hear the reggae influences.
Yes,
so
of course,
that makes
100%.
a lot of sense.
Yes.
So did you think you would go into the Punjabi industry, or did you want to go more down the reggae route? Or was it always in your head, I want to do a fusion?
I think initially it wasn't even a thought. It was just like, oh, I used to go to like school talent shows or clubs and I would sing Apache songs. Like I would say, they would put an instrumental on, I'd sing Chuck Day, or I would sing Miwan Gyal or the Arranged Marriage and stuff, right? And then when that era kind of faded away, I kind of got more into hip hop. I got into Tupac and Biggie and all that stuff. And then came around like 2002, 2003, when I visited England. And Jay Sean and Juggy D and Rishi Rich, they were doing all that stuff, right? Raghav was there, right?
Yeah.
Jazzy was killing it. There was Sinner and the Mets and Tricks, all that, you know, era, Amin Hair, all that. That kind of revived that inner Asian in me because I had gone away from it.
Okay.
Because in Canada, there's really not an Asian structure at that time when I was growing up. So everything was really very American based because obviously we're border town. So we listened to a lot of hip hop, American stuff. So when I came back to the UK, it kind of like revived that, oh, you know what? Yeah, this is good. This is good.
Yeah.
So long story short, I got connected with Surinder Rutt and did a tune with him. And then he kind of like guided me. He said, look, Roach, I love what you do and it's great what you do, but how are you going to connect to the Asian people? Because your music is strictly reggae and it's not just reggae, it's like hardcore reggae. So like, that's not really going to fly well if you're trying to be a bit more commercial in that scene. So you have to understand your target market and kind of fuse it a bit. So from there, I was like, okay, so I understood. A lot of people are a lot of artists are very hard. They're uncoachable. Like, they're like, nah, bro, that's me. I want to do me. That's it. So I understood, okay, if I want to get my music to the masses, I have to kind of, not water it down, but I have to fuse it together. Okay. So that's how the Asian and the fusion and the reggae vibes came together. That's why. And I think at that time, the reason why I worked at that time was there was a big gap of that reggae vibe was missing because there was Apache, there was Cheshire Cat, UK Apache, there was a lot going on, but then it kind of died down for a bit. There was no reggae really happening.
Yeah, no.
So when I came in, that kind of revived the scene. That's why I got to work with so many artists. Like I've worked with the best of the best. And I think that's, God bless, that's for the reason, obviously, the style of music I was doing. So it was fitting into that time, you know? So that's why the reggae was.
I'll tell you, one of my favorite tracks that had that reggae flavor that really did it for me was Din Raat with Gary Sandu. Because I actually remember I must have been about in year 10, and I was watching BritAsia TV, as you do. And you guys were in push cars on Broad Street. Yeah. And then obviously Gary's doing his little bit and it's so soft. And then you come in with this reggae beat and it just like, it blew my mind because there was nothing like that at that time. And I think, let's talk about Gary Sandu because I feel like you two, that duo was insane. How did that come about?
You know, it's like sometimes people connect with another artist or a producer and they make magic. Like I'll give you an example, like Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. When they come together, they make magic, you know what I mean? Snoop does his thing on the side or Dre does it separately. They do make magic, but when they come together, it's something different. So when I met Gary, I met him through Surinder Rutten. They had a track for me to do Dil De De, and they sent it to me and they were like, yo, this is the track Gary would like to feature you. And I didn't know Gary at that time, right? Because he just, I think, had Manny Peen that time.
Oh, wow,
so he's just starting out. And I already had songs like Hatya with Gippy and stuff like that. So I listened to the song and it was just a guide vibe. So it wasn't like a full on track with final vocals. I was listening to it and I wasn't sure. I was like, okay, I'm kind of vibing it. So then I was like, okay, let me go into the studio. Went into the studio with Surinder. He produced the beat, done the song. And as I was walking out, it hit me in the head. And I'm like, Surinder, is the mic on? He's like, no. I'm like, turn the mic on. I went back in.
Now?
Yeah, do it now. I went in there and something came in my head and I was like, and that's on the actual song. Right at the beginning, you hear, girls, girls, around the town, girls, girls, oh, na, girls. And then Gary comes in. So that's how I met Gary. And then I had a show, ladies' night in Birmingham, Second City Suite. And Gary he hadn't done any shows yet. So I was like, Gary, come, we'll go do that song. He came and he was kind of nervous because he hadn't performed. So he wasn't kind of like, because it was all packed. It was like ladies' night only, you know what I mean? So it was like about 1,000 people in there. And then I brought Gary on, we did Dil De De, and the reception that he got, he felt so alive that he just felt comfortable. And then he grabbed the mic and he was singing Chitte Suti. He started singing Bolia and stuff to the point that like, he was so comfortable that he didn't want to get off. I was like, Gary, you do know it's my show, right? Yeah, thank you. Let me continue, right? So it was awesome, you know? And then me and Gary, it wasn't even about an artist anymore. It was more like a brotherhood.
Yeah.
We connected together. Like it was just on screen it was music, but off screen it was brotherhood. Like
I feel like we could sense that through the music as well. You could genuinely tell that these guys like working with each other. They've got a good relationship.
You know what I mean? I used to live at somebody's house and I was living in Birmingham and Gary would come and would sit on the couch and I was living in some ghetto place, right? Yeah. And me and Gary were just sitting there, just playing the computer. And after Dil De De, coming back to your track, after Dil De De, we were sitting there and we're like, you know what? We got to do another one because everyone's loving this. So Gary's like, you know, bro, reggae style, bo pasand hai. You know, I was like, yeah, the reggae stuff, right? He goes, we got to do something like that. So we're sitting there, we're making the beat. And I was like, you know what? Let's call Dips, our boy, DJ Dips. Because he had just, I think, produced Tour for Gary. You know, so we hit up Dips and Dips is like...
Weren't they like builders in the video or something?
Yeah. Right? And then, so we went down to Dips' studio. We went at 9 p.m. I remember that. We drove down from Birmingham, me and Gary, and we got there at 9 p.m. And from 9 p.m. till about 6 a.m., we did the whole song, recorded everything, done the song, mastered, and we drove back, got back at 7 a.m., and then Gary's like, we're going to release the song. I think that Friday is coming up. Come like Thursday, he just left it. He leaked it himself on his Insta, I think it was Facebook. He's like, hello, G. No, yeah. I called him up, bro, we're going to hit the charts. We need the sales. You have to hit the charts. He's like, Mainu koi care nahi chart choot di. I go, it's not chart choot, it's charts, right? Right? But the ironic thing was, because the people loved the song so much, when we released it on iTunes, it went #1 anyways, because it was just, you know what it was? At that time, it was our time, you know? So at that time, right? So that song done so well for us and it got to people like you and you guys' ears, 100%. You know what I mean? So that was the story behind that track. Big shout out going out to Gary, big shout out going out to DJ Dips.
Amazing. Now we are going to be talking about oh my God, let's talk about the drip. The
drip. RK. Big shout out to my boy Cienz who designed this for me. This is actually real Swarovskis. Is
it?
Yeah. That's why it's glistening like that. None of that rhinestone business.
No, we don't do rhinestones around here. Amazing. You can't forget your name like that.
Well, there you go.
Need a little reminder. Okay.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I could give this to Ranbir Kapoor.
Oh, you could. Yeah. All right, since you mentioned a Bollywood actor, I was going to talk about your collabs, but let's talk about Bollywood. Because you have worked in Bollywood. Yes. How was that? How did that come about?
That experience was actually very humbling. I went in 2015 to Mumbai. I had never been to Mumbai, so I really wanted to go. First, I actually went to Amritsar, Jalandhar, Delhi, but then went to Mumbai. And I got a chance to meet the Meet Brothers. Okay. The Meet Bros, obviously, if people don't know, which I don't know how you don't know, but they're the ones who done Kanika Kapoor's Baby Don't Let the Sun Be or Chittiyan Kalaiyan Ve, oh baby teri white kalaiyan ve.
Banger.
So I got to meet them in the studio. I went there and I sat with them and they had like these big bangers, you know what I mean? To regardless what we do in the Asian industry, Bollywood's worldwide, right? So they're like big, you know what I mean? So I walk into the studio, I was a bit nervous, like, so I had a couple of tunes and I played some ideas for them. I said, this is what I do. So they loved what I done. But they were like, okay, what you're doing is a bit too westernized for us. Okay. How can we incorporate your style into this? So I had a couple of ideas. And he's like, I like this, I like that. Let's just jam. Come tomorrow night and we'll jam. I go, okay. Came the next day, we had this idea. I had literally just a beat, a vibe made, and the hook line said, girl, I need you. Girl, I need you. So I was singing like an Asian melody and an English vocal. So they loved it. So we sat, me, Meet Bros, and Kumar, who's the writer. He's the same guy who wrote Chittiyan Kalaiyan and all that stuff. And the whole night, I think we jammed from 9 in the night till 4 a.m. And come 4 a.m., the buzzer rang from the building and they're like, oh, blah, 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 oh, coming up. And I'm like, whoever, right? And then literally the door opens and Kanika walks in, right? And she was like a superstar, you know what I mean? Like, at that time. So I was kind of humble, like, whoa, I'm sitting over here with these guys. So we had a laugh and a joke. The next day I went back, recorded the vocals and stuff. And that's how my first introduction to Bollywood came. Okay. But the thing was, the actual song was for the film Baghi for Tiger Shroff. First, amazing film. Right? A wicked film, right? With Shraddha Kapoor, right? Yeah. And so originally it was Meet Bros singing the song. So I went back to Canada. So I'm sitting in Canada and then when Meet Bros calls me, he's like, Roach, I've got a surprise for you. I'm like, what? He goes, I'm not singing the song anymore. I go, that's not a good surprise, bro. What kind of surprise is that? He goes, but I've got a replacement. I go, who? He goes, Arijit Singh will be singing it. No. And I had to look at the phone like, are you serious, bro?
Are you lying?
Like, are you lying to me? You're lying, fam, right? So anyways, long story short, the song's called Girl, I Need You. It's on the film Baghi with Shraddha Kapoor. And the funny thing is when they shot the video, like, I don't know, like, you know, as an artist, sometimes you feel like, okay, in Bollywood, when they make the video, they're probably going to cut my part out and leave the Hindis and all that stuff, right? And so Meet played a joke on me. He's like, bro, the video's done, but I'm sorry, bro, they didn't do your part. You know what I mean? Because it's not, there's too much English. I go, okay, fine. As long as the song's there. Then he sent me the link to the video and Tiger Shroff is singing my parts. My rap's in it. You know, and I'm like, you bad boy.
You're teasing me.
You're teasing me, buddy. So it was just a great experience working on that track. Then we did a few more tracks. We did, for Jurva 2, we did a track for Ato Sahi. We did
Oh my God.
Ato Sahi.
Banger.
We actually made that song in Birmingham. I took him to Cam Frantic Studios. Yeah. We had Cam Frantic play a little bit here and there. I did a little bit. Meet Bros there. It's a collective collaboration. So big shout out to Cam Frantic, who's a real legend that people don't even know how many bangers he's made. And we did other Matt did a boyfriend too, made a girlfriend. We did that one. There's a few more in the pipeline and stuff, you know, but it was just a humbling experience, just the fact that, you know, be able to just grow your career. Amazing. You know what I mean? Coming from the rapping on the street corners to coming to England doing this and then going to Bollywood doing that. And now my ambition is to go from here to now more mainstream, try to do different. So there's always a sense of achieving more and more. I'm not content. I'm never content. I just want to do more and more and get better and better. Yeah, exactly.
Amazing. How do you feel like Bollywood is like with accepting Punjabi music now? Because I feel like they do incorporate a bit more Punjabi music into their films. There's 100%. One song here and there.
I think back in the days, it wasn't so much. But then eventually it came a point that you can't have a Bollywood film without a Tadka track in it. Exactly. You literally can't. Yeah. And now, from what I'm seeing, the Punjabi music industry is a lot more excelling than the Bollywood industry is. I feel like Bollywood industry is kind of like plateaued. Yeah. But the Punjabi industry and the down south, the South Indian industry, like they're booming. They're booming. So, you know, I think it's just a cycle. Something goes, you know what I mean? Then something else comes, something else. Then it'll go back to this. So it's just a phase. But you know, I'm very happy the fact that we are finally accepted in the mainstream. In the mainstream, of course.
How do you feel about the Indian rappers that are coming out? Like, did you watch the film Gully Boy?
Yes.
I feel like that was such a sick movie. And I think there's a lot of, especially the younger generation in India that are into rap. I mean, now because of socials, the world is open to everyone
100%.
and everyone's got like access to music from all over the world. So
100%.
these young kids are listening to rap. They're listening to like even drill and UK music, grime. How do you feel about that and seeing so many Indian rappers in India?
It's funny you mentioned that because I remember at the beginning when Bacha came out, one day I was scrolling and somebody tagged me into something, right? And I was like, what, they tagged me? They tagged me into a Bacha post. And you can go back and check it, so I'm not blagging it. Right? On the post, it's Bacha rapping, right? And there's a caption at the bottom. But before I even got to the caption, I'm like, is that my song?
No way.
Is that my song? And I'm listening, right? I'm like, that's my song.
Yeah.
At the bottom, it said, Bacha put, he's like, this is a song that I was singing at my college talent show, and I done so well that people asked me to sing it again. I don't even know whose song this is, but this is crazy. So I hit him back up over there. I said, bro, this is my tune, but mad love the fact to see that you got inspired by a tune that I've done. So it makes us feel happy because, you know, we come from an era, older era. Now the new kids are inspired by what we do, but they've brought their own style with it. But as long as what happens, this is what I say, as long as you give respect to the generation before you that paves the way and opens a little bit of a door, and then you come, you open a bit more and a bit more, like what Bacha's done opens such a big door. There's more artists coming out. There's Divine, there's Emiway, there's Krishna. There's so many artists that are doing the Raftar, like all these kids, you know, even Ikka, all these guys, you know, I've done interviews that like when lockdown happened, I was doing interviews. I had a talent show on my Instagram channel. And what I'll do is a little bit of like talent show, like I'd bring random people on if they want to sing. And then the other half show, I'd have a celebrity on. So I had Raftar, I had Ikka, I had all these people. And they all said the same thing. They said, bro, we grew up listening to you and your songs. You know, so it makes you feel respect for the fact that people give you that respect that, yo, because a lot of artists don't, even though they listen to you, they won't give you that satisfaction and say, yo, I listen to all. You know what I mean? Like I'll give you an example, like you go out and this and that, and people be like, oh, you do music? Yeah, I do music. I don't listen to Asian music. Okay. 5 minutes later when we're talking, oh yeah, I love that song. I made that. You just told me you don't listen to Asian music. Why do that?
Yeah.
Why don't you give
Try
love
and
and
play the
respect?
other person.
Yeah, exactly. Why in our culture, a lot of people do that. Oh man, I don't know you, I don't know. But secretly you're listening to my stuff. You know what I mean? So anyways, long story short, it's a humbling experience to know that people look up to you and give you that love and respect and allow themselves to grow even bigger and bigger from the baby steps. We taken one step, they've taken two, somebody comes, takes three, and eventually it just goes up and up and up. So yeah, it's a humbling experience. So big shout out going out to the Desi hip hop in India and all around the world, man. It's such a growing thing.
It is. So obviously you were brought up in Canada.
Yes.
You moved there at a young age. So let's talk about the music scenes and the differences, because here, the Punjabi scene has always been booming.
Yes.
So what are the differences between here and Canada?
The big difference, first of all, was the generations. You guys have been here for like 3-4 generations. For us guys, like even I wasn't born there. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's a very, very new generation. There was no infrastructure. There was hardly Asian community. Obviously it built over the last 20 years. It's built. Even today, there is no BBC Asian network or that type of a big Canadian radio station that caters to Asian people. There isn't. Maybe there's one show on a radio station here and there. Vancouver's got a bit more, but Toronto doesn't. So you can just see that the infrastructure is not there, the gigs are not there, the shows are not there. Music now, what's happened is because you have the means to put your music on iTunes and all that now independently. So the music was they got the opportunity to release their music to the world, but they don't have the other flip side of it where I release my music and go on tour in Canada and do shows, because there's nothing happening like that. You know, so it's very tough. Still it is.
Okay, let's talk about your collabs. We briefly spoke about Gary. Also, you've done like Miss Bulja. You've collabed with so many people. So I want to ask you, like, not who was your favorite, but what was one of the most memorable experiences with someone you've collabed with?
I mean, they all have their own place in specialty, but I think I would say Jazzy B. Jazzy B, you know what I mean? Like growing up, like when we were kids, he's from Canada, so we looked up to him to say, wow, he's from Canada, he's doing amazing. And he's just special, you know what I mean? He's not your average artist. So I would say the experience of working with Jazzy B, I mean, like when I came to the UK, the first time I met him was actually at the BritAsia Awards pre-launch party. You can go back and look at the picture, right? I was a bit para, you know? right? And I met him and I like Jazzy. And the funny thing was, he knew who I was.
Mad.
That was the maddest thing. And at that time, his album came out, Maharajas.
Okay.
So we went to the launch party, and this is where it hit me. Me and Gary, we were just upcoming at that time, right? So me and Gary, like he's doing this whole thing, and you have Jazzy coming in like, those like a dolly type of thing.
Yeah,
He's coming
yeah,
like
yeah.
a Maharaja. And there's a locked off section and stuff, and we're obviously the artists were in there, VIP section and whatnot. And this is where it hit us. The missus came and said, "Can our kids have a picture with you and Gary?" That's when I was like,
What?
who are we? Like, who are you? Jazzy B, you know what I mean? Who are we? So it just showed me how humble the people are. So then I got a bit more courage. I was like, okay. Man,
sure.
okay, I'm somebody, okay. Slid into his DMs. I was like, Jazzy Paji, you can tell, big inspiration you are. I'm doing my album. I'd love to have you on the album. Do you think you would possibly, like I'm thinking like, he's not even gonna reply to me, man. He literally replied within 5 minutes. He said, no problem, bro. Let's meet up. I'm like looking at him like,
is this real?
Is this really the real account? Like, if I message some random man? He's like, okay. I go, where can we meet? He goes, Birmingham. I'm in Birmingham. Come meet me at behind the mailbox of some hotel. And I was like, okay. So I'm all excited. Me and Surinder Rattan, we go, and I'm waiting for him to walk in with like two bodyguards and this and that. Man rocked up on his own by himself. Sat down with me, talked about it. Went to the studio. After a week or so, we went to the studio, done the track. Zeus produced the track, and it was just like such a memorable, humbling experience to realize that a man of such caliber, such talent, such like a superstar around the world, but yet he's still giving that love to somebody who's not say we're beneath him, but like starting out compared to his legendary status, but he still gave me that respect like I was his peer. You know what I'm saying? So that probably was the most special moment in my life in terms of music. I mean, Bollywood was great and all that stuff, but this was genuine. Like, I felt like, in the song we both start and Jazzy goes, Canada de do munde. You know what I mean? Like, it made me feel like, whoa, I'm part of the crew. You know what I mean? But yeah, Jazzy B, man, big shout out to Jazzy B, man. Mad love, Jazzy B. I love you, man. It's just, it's such a, you know what I mean? Jazzy is just legend, living legend, man.
He really is. So let's talk about social media, because back when you started out, it probably wasn't really a thing at all. I remember we had like MySpace, Bebo, Facebook, and that was it. But nowadays, social media is the biggest marketing tool. Everyone uses it. TikTok, like the amount of songs that go viral.
From TikTok,
So what has it been like for you as an artist trying to navigate your way through those changes where now you can use social media to market?
I think like I was having this discussion with my boy Blitz Music, and he was like, when we put out a song, like, it's not, well, how come this song doesn't go viral or that doesn't happen? I had to explain it to him. I said, you know what it is, bro? Like, when we were growing up in that age group, our thing was go down the street, pass CDs out or put posters up. That's our social media, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how we were getting songs out. Now the thing is, say for example, I put a song out. I'm not in uni, I'm not in college. So my circle of friends that I'm circulating the songs to on social media, the people that follow me, are not part of that circle. So that song is not going to the youth because that's not who we are. And so we have to figure out as older artists, how do we connect with the youth to stay relevant? Like Drake, for example, he's been on top for like 10 years, right? But how does he stay relevant? Because he's clever, because he affiliates and aligns himself with the youth, the new talent coming out. He gives them a chance. Same thing what I'm doing. I'm giving the youth, any youth coming up that I feel like they're really good or they're, upcoming and they're going to be able to do something special. I work with them. It's not, to me, it's not about the money. Yes, it's a career and we make money, but it's not always about the money. It's about the passion. And if we have learned things along the lines and we can pass that knowledge to somebody who can skip those little hurdles, then that's what I want to do. So that's why you would see me in the future, like the song that I have right now out with Arma, Terenal. There's a new artist coming up, so I produced that track. I've given him a hook line for it. There's other songs that I'll be putting out. Another artist, Zane Worldwide, check him out. There's a lot of new kids that I'm helping out that I want to push forward. So I think social media is a great tool. It's an amazing access to have to get your music around the world, not just local. But I think older artists have to tap into that to understand that, if you still want to be relevant into that network, you need to be able to use that tool. So I think, people ask me, yo, are you on TikTok? I am on TikTok, but I don't post every day. You know what I mean?
TikTok banai jande.
Like, you know what I mean? I feel weird. Like, you know how you go out, food comes, nobody's like, nobody eats. Everyone's like, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, it was,
guilty.
I'll give you an example. It was so funny, right? This guy posted this post and it was so funny. He goes, you know what? Imagine going out to the random in the middle of the street and saying, hey, bro, I'm having a bad day. Hey, bro, a random person. Hey, bro, I just got a haircut. Hey, bro, I want to eat this. And the guy's going to look at you like, what's wrong with you? Why are you telling me all this? But that's literally what you're doing on Facebook or any social media. You're just literally telling people what you're doing.
And no one cares.
And it's not that no one cares. People, like, say, for example, right now, as a fan, if, say, for example, I want to see Jay-Z or something, Jay-Z puts on, yo, I'm doing this. I'm like, I feel like I'm connected to him. Like, yo, I do that too.
Yeah.
Oh, he's at Arcadian in Birmingham. I know where Arcadian in Birmingham is. I connect to him because I go there. Oh, yeah, I can connect to him. So these are the personal things that now that social media allows you to connect with the artist directly. Back in the days, we didn't have a review. Like, say you put a song out. You don't really know what what the public is saying, what the fans feel. Right now, don't mintage, they'll tell you whether they like it or not.
I know, and that can be really horrible too.
Yeah, very horrible. They could be like, right? Things like that. Not to me, but in general, like people do that. Oh, bro, and the funny thing, the funniest comment is you release a song literally today, and the same evening you get a comment, Paji, next Gana Kadwana. I just spent like so much money to put this out. You know what I mean? So it's just like the attention span because of social media has gone so down.
It has.
It's like literally, that's why TikTok is big, because it's just little clips.
60-second videos and you just scroll.
Literally, and you're scrolling. Anything you like, you connect to 5 seconds, then boom, next one.
And you'll never see that one again.
Exactly. So it's like, unless the song's gone viral with keys popping up, then eventually you'll be like, okay, let me check it out. You know what I mean? Exactly. You will never listen to a song the first time, be like, oh my God, I want to go check it out.
No.
It has to hit you like 2-3 times before you're like, what is this? You know what I mean?
Now it is finally time for my favorite part of the show, where we get to test our artist. It is rapid fire with Nate. Okay, Roach Killer, are you ready? I feel like I'm hyped too much. It's not that scary.
It really depends. Geography, I'm good at it. Math, I'm good at it, but it depends what you're trying to ask me.
Okay.
Cooking questions? Favorite producer? I would say Dr. Zeus.
Okay.
And we're talking Asian or in general?
Anything.
Dr. Dre and Dr. Zeus. Don't know
doctors.
the doctor.
The doctor. Makes sense. Okay, favorite childhood movie?
Favorite childhood movie? Probably Home Alone.
Classic.
I think everybody's favorite childhood
That makes sense, because earlier you were like, Kevin. It makes sense.
Yep.
Okay, favorite Disney character?
Favorite Disney character? I'm not really into Disney, to be fair. I mean, I don't even know if Aladdin's a character of Disney.
He is.
Is he? Okay, so Aladdin.
Aladdin, okay. Poutine, is that how you say it, you Canadians?
Yes, we do.
Or fish and chips?
Come on. You
Fish and
know it's
chips.
poutine.
Oh, swear.
Fish and chips not big in Canada, you know.
No, but because you've got the best of both. I mean, you're Canadian, and now also, do you class yourself as British?
Maybe I class myself as dual citizen, you know.
A hybrid.
Hybrid,
He's a hybrid.
You know what it is? Me personally, I'm not into fried stuff. Okay. So that's possibly why. I like fish, but just not fried. So fish and chips is cool, but...
What about like doner meat and chips? Do you guys have doner meat and chips in Canada?
We do, but not the way you guys have them. Okay, ours is much better.
Oh, really? Canada jana pena fir sanu, huh?
Marunda.
All right. Coca-Cola or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Okay, Messi or Ronaldo?
All day, Ronaldo.
See? Okay, McDonald's or Burger King?
It's a tough one. I would say McKing. No, Burger King.
Hybrid bandaya.
Burger King.
Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
Mercedes or BMW?
Mercedes.
Okay, Android or iPhone?
Android.
Oh no.
iPhone, I feel like you're so restricted to just Apple stuff.
Okay.
With Android, at least. Kulli shortiya.
But what about the hackers?
You guys don't even come with a charger. What are you on about?
Oh yeah, now we don't actually.
They're getting sued for like 20 million because they don't even give you a charger.
Oh, I
They're like,
heard about that.
Bas.
So true. Okay, winter getaway or summer holiday?
Summer holiday.
Really, what's your top 5 places to go?
I've been to Cuba 7 times.
Oh, wow.
Cuba is the most beautiful place in the world. If you haven't been there, go out there, man. Beautiful. Lovely people.
We're gonna have to go. Okay, tea or coffee?
Coffee. But dudh patti cha depends, you know. Desi cha, yeah, but otherwise coffee. I do not like just normal. You don't kettle tea?
Yeah.
No.
Are you not a fan? Okay, do you guys make like kettle tea in Canada? Like, you know, how we do in English, like an
tea
English
is
brew.
not a big thing in Canada. I
Isn't
only
it?
started drinking tea when I came to UK.
Really?
Yeah. Obviously, my mom and dad, they, you know, they sit under the chap in there.
Oh, yeah.
But as a young generation, there's nobody that drinks cheese. Like, they're more into coffee. Tim Hortons.
Tim
coffee.
Hortons, French vanilla.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so how do you feel that Tim Hortons is here now? Feel at home?
No. You know, the funny thing is, I still haven't been to Tim Hortons.
That local one?
I know, I haven't because I grew up to it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like somebody saying, "Oh, have you grabbed the new taba with dal?"
That's true.
I eat that every day. Why am I gonna go spend money to buy dal tadka?
That's true.
I'll make it. I make good food, by the way.
Do you?
Yeah. We'll have a BritAsia session, you know, cooking.
Okay,
one.
next time it's going to be cooking with the killer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's drop the name Roach because I don't think anybody wants a roach in their cooking.
No, we don't. Just to make sure everyone
Cooking
knows.
with the killer
I know roaches in his food.
Cooking with the killer sab.
Okay, what's your favourite thing about Birmingham?
My favorite thing about Birmingham is the diversity. What I like about it is because there's a big community of all types of people. You know, there's Muslims, there's Sikhs, there's Hindus, there's white people, black people, all like integrated, and there's no problems. Like everybody has a little bit here and there, but there's no hatred where it's just blowing up on the surface. You know, it's calm. It's calm. I like that.
Yep. Okay, smart or casual?
Casual.
Boxing or MMA?
I would say boxing.
Boxing. Okay, dogs or cats?
Dogs all day.
All day.
Bande da best friend kutta honda?
Huh? Haircut ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ?
Honda siga mera.
Really?
Yeah.
What did you have?
My dog, I had a Staffy. And his name was Prince. He passed away in 2009. I had him for 7 years. He was like a little baby. If you know me, you would have seen him on my Insta everywhere. He was my baby, man.
I love that.
That was the hardest thing ever.
Yeah.
If anyone's have had whoever has a dog, you know when people say, "Oh, it's just a pet," then that means you've never had one.
I have a little French bulldog, and when I tell you, he's my little brother. Yeah. He's been on the show, so the viewers know him.
You know it, isn't it? So
but
you know.
Yeah, they're part of the fam.
More than that.
Yeah,
the funny thing was when I first got him, when he tried to jump on the couch at the bed, I was like, no. Eventually to the point, where are you? Get on the bed. You know what I mean? He would jump in my rajaya underneath and by my feet to be like warming it up. Yeah. It was the best thing in the world.
Before we got our dog, so obviously he was my first pet. My mom's had dogs before when she was younger, but it was mine and my brother's first dog. And then, you know, my dad made a rule, no, he's not allowed upstairs. And I was like, yeah, you know what? It's true. He's not allowed upstairs. Let me tell you, that geezer runs the house. He runs the house. He's allowed everywhere. Okay, back to the rapid fire. Okay. We went off on a tangent. Okay, East Coast hip hop or West Coast?
Ooh, that's a tough one. That's more on a mood thing. I grew up to East and West, so it just depends on the song.
Depends on the mood. Okay, ketchup or mayo?
Mayo. I'm not a big fan of ketchup.
Okay, are you a football fan?
Yes, I am. Manchester United.
Love that.
Very, very sad for what's happening with Ronaldo. Fix up, man.
I know. All right, the Raptors or Maple Leafs?
The Raptors, I tell you why.
Go on.
The Maple Leafs, as much as we grew up watching them, they haven't won nothing since 1967. The Raptors have only been around for 25 years and they won the championship. So it's just no-brainer, man. Exactly. These guys are working harder. I mean, I love hockey and I love basketball, but Raptors is more my thing.
Have you met Raptors superfan?
Nav Bhatia.
Yeah.
He's from Toronto, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, we know Nav Bhatia. He's a lovely guy.
He's amazing. We met him earlier this year and he gave me the rings.
Yeah? And you put him on? No, he's a wicked guy, man.
He's a great guy. So you've met him?
Yes. Very lovely guy.
Lovely
he ain't my best friend, but yes, I've met him. Paji ko Hyundai gaddi sanu de deo.
Love that. Okay, Tory Lanez or Cardinal Official?
Ooh, tough one. Different eras. Cardi is like a big inspiration to me as well because he did that reggae vibe type of vibe, right? Tory is more newer. We actually have a song with Tory, me and Gary. Do you guys know that?
No.
If you guys don't know, the song's called 100%. Go check it on YouTube.
Oh, so it's
Roach
actually
Killa,
out?
Yeah, it was like 4 years ago. Roach Killer, Gary Sandu, Tory Lanez, produced by Dr. Zeus.
ਸਾਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਦੱਸ ਦਿੰਦੇ
ਹੁਣ ਦੱਸਤਾ
ਹੁਣ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਸੁਣਿਓ
ਉਹ ਗਾਣਾ play ਕਰੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾਓ
Oh no, listen to it right now. Pause us and go listen to the song.
100%, okay?
Wow.
The song's called 100%.
So what was that like? Let's talk about that for a second, working with Tory Lanez.
It was crazy. I never got to go there because I was here. Gary and them shot the video, but Gary was in India. I was here. Tory was in Toronto. Zeus was in Wolverhampton.
Wolverhampton?
So, yeah. He was in Wolves, mate.
He was involved, mate.
Bobby on the bus, right? But it was good because I spoke to Gary. Gary was like, "Who should we get to produce?" I was like, "Zeus is gonna kill it. You know, he would do a great job." So we got Zeus to produce it. But it was a good vibe, man. It was really good to work with him, man.
Everyone go listen to it.
ਆਪਾਂ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ.
Huh. इन्होंने पहला किया सी अच्छा. Yeah. All right, Tupac or Biggie?
What do you guys think? Look at me. Do I look like Biggie? Nah. Do I have a nose ring? Yeah. What did I look there? Tupac.
Okay.
My
Self-explanatory.
dad gave me chapade. You know, like one day I came home with a nose ring. My dad looked at me. He go, "Hey, Kia." I go, "Dad, Tupac." He go, "How about two slap?" Like, well, yeah.
How did your parents kind of react to, like, you know, you loved hip hop, you were in that scene, you loved your reggae music. How did they react to it?
I think it comes a point when your parents look at you and say,
It is what it
hopeless. There's nothing I could do. You're gonna do. My dad just told me this. He said, "Look, you're gonna do what you're gonna do anyways. But in life, try to keep a balance. Don't go too much this way. Don't go too much that way. Keep your culture, keep your religion, keep your faith.
Yeah.
But at the same time, do what you're doing.
Yeah.
But just don't go extreme on either sides."
Yeah.
So that's, I guess that. I think the thing was, what brought it home for my dad was, I remember we went to a wedding. It was my dad's friend's son's wedding, and we were at the wedding, and he comes to my dad and he goes, "Paji, photo leni tere munde naal."
Wow.
And my dad's like, "Kyon?" Like that. He goes, "Kyon?" He goes, "Kyon?" He goes, "Tone nahi pata bada star ya, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਇਹਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਗਾਣੇ ਗਾਉਂਦਾ, ਬਹੁਤ famous ਆ." And my dad's looking at me like that. And then the kids started lining up to take photos.
Yeah.
I think that's when it hit him that he realized, okay, all those years of not coming home and doing music and this and that, it wasn't a waste.
Yeah.
Man's actually doing something and making money out of it and making a living out of it. So I think he appreciated the graft. So it was that moment that hit him, you know?
That's amazing.
Yeah.